everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. And if you do enjoy this video, make sure to get a big thumbs up. On the screen are today's shoutouts. Thank you all so much for your comments and your support. If you also want a shout out, all you have to do is subscribe, turn notifications on, be the first 20 people to comment hashtag #ChillFication once you've done that. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make some fidget toys. Some poppet fidget toys, a squishy fidget, and more. So without any further ado, let's get into today's video. So the first fidget toy that we're going to be making is kind of like egg themed. And for this, you'll be needing some sort of cardboard. Another type of cardboard that I'd recommend is something that looks like this. I got this from Dunkin' Donuts, like from the Munchkin box. I just like cut this part out. This is also like really good material for this type of fidget toy. And you will also need some like regular printer paper. So I'm gonna draw like an egg shape. I will set this aside, and now we're gonna be making the yolk part, and it's gonna be popping out. Now we will need a stencil or something to trace around to make a nice circle. So I'm just taking this little ketchup container thing, I guess. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color it yellow because that's the color of an egg yolk. Now let's cut this out. It's better to make your circle bigger than smaller. Next, you're gonna need some thick plastic tape. This is like packaging tape. Okay, so I'm just gonna place it so that I cover the circle. Oh no. I'm basically like laminating it. Now I'm gonna trim the excess tape. So now that I trimmed it, we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And there we have our little yolk complete. So now we are gonna cut a tiny slit. It should basically be halfway. So once you have your slit, you're gonna fold one of the halves on top of the other half, and then you're gonna tape it right there. It should be like a cone shape. So next what we're gonna do is you're gonna take your piece of cardboard, and you're gonna take your little yolk. We're gonna trace the yolk. And just like that. We're gonna cut out all of the outline parts. So we're gonna cut out the egg right here, and then we're gonna cut out the yolk. As you are cutting, make sure that you aren't cutting it too much. So right here, I kind of finished cutting it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be like a big enough hole that you can nicely put it on top. So then we are gonna take our yolk, place it on top, and we're gonna tape it. Once you've securely taped it on, your fidget toy is pretty much complete. So the way you play with this is you can pop it in and you pop it out. You guys, it looks just like a real egg, and it's pretty fun to like pop it in and pop it out. It's so fun to play with. It's super cute, and if you want, you can also draw a nice little face on it. First up, we'll be making a really cool DIY stress ball. And for this, you will be needing a plastic bag. So open your plastic bag, and then you're gonna put in whatever add-ins you want. So here are the add-ins I'm gonna be adding in here. Some pom-poms and some star glitters. So I'm just gonna take a handful. Now I'm gonna put in some star glitters. If you watched my last video, you know exactly what is in here. If you guessed it correctly, it is some pink stars. And now for the part that's gonna make it the stress ball, you are gonna add in some clear glue. So just open it and we're gonna pour it in. And just a little bit more. You're gonna put enough clear glue to cover pom-poms or like the stuff that you put in. Just like that. And now we're gonna close this. Try to get all the air out. And already it looks super duper cool. Like you can push all the pom-poms. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the bag, we're gonna leave some space, make sure everything is like down, and then we are gonna twist it. So when you have it twisted like this, we are gonna secure this so that it doesn't open. You can either tape it really tightly, staple it, or hot glue it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tape it and staple it. Right now I'm taking a piece and I'm just making sure I really tightly secure it, and then I'm taking my stapler and I'm stapling it shut, just like that. Now what we can do is we're just gonna cut off the top right after the staple, and this we can throw out. Now we have a DIY stress ball. You guys, look at this. This thing is super cool. Like, the fact that it's clear looks really nice. You can see through it, and you can see all of the pom-poms and add-ins. And even once there's air bubbles, if you just let it sit, all the air bubbles will rise, just like in clear slime. This fidget toy is also really nice, and I highly recommend it. Next, I will show you guys how to make a DIY poppet fidget. Then you will take some packaging tape. I got mine from Staples. It is like the thick packaging tape for boxes. So start unrolling the tape. And then you are just gonna place it just like this. Make sure the sticky side is up. Then I'm gonna take my scissors and cut it. So what you're gonna do next is you're gonna take some glitters. Right here I have some orange, some pink, and some blue fine glitter. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna sprinkle it onto the sticky side of the tape. Just like that. And then if I want, I can even try to spread it out with my finger. Next, you're gonna take your other glitters and you're just gonna sprinkle it on to the tape. You can do as many colors as you want. And then I'm taking the blue, and just like that. Once you sprinkled on your glitter onto the tape, we're gonna take the tape again, and now we are gonna cover this. So be very careful right here. Make sure you line up the edges, and then you're gonna tape it on. And then press on it so that there's no air bubbles. It should look something like this. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be tracing circles onto this. So right here I have this like paint bottle, and then I have a marker right here. And now I'm just gonna trace the circle. So first I'm gonna trace it on the blue glitter. Now I'm gonna trace it on the pink, and then on the orange. Just like that. Now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna cut out each of the circles. First I'm just gonna cut them into little squares. Now I'm going to cut out all the circles. And circle number 3. So the good thing is I used washable marker. So I'm just smudging off the excess of the black marker. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut a tiny slit in each of the circles. We're going to cut it about halfway. Just like that. Next, take some preferably clear tape. You're gonna take the slit and you're gonna basically put the flap over itself like that, and then we are gonna tape it. Now we're gonna do the same to the pink right here. Once again, putting the flap over it to make a cone shape, and then we're taping it. And then you should have 3 cones. Next, you will need some cardboard. Make sure your cardboard isn't too thick or it'll be too hard to cut through. I'm gonna draw what I want the base of my poppet to be. So I want the base to be a cloud, so that's what I'm gonna draw. So I'm just gonna take my cones, place them on for reference to see how big I want the cloud to be. Now I just placed my little cones on top of the cloud, and I'm gonna trace them. And now we're gonna cut this out. Okay, right here I have some scissors. And now here's the tricky part. We're gonna try to cut out the circles. To do this, I'm gonna fold it, and I'm gonna cut a slit. For this step, it is nice if your scissors are nice and sharp. You can also use a box cutter or an X-Acto knife. Make sure you do not cut over your lines. It's actually better if you cut underneath your outline. That looks pretty good, and now I'm gonna do the same thing with the other circles. So right over here it is once I finish cutting it out. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna erase all of like the pencil marks that I have. We are gonna put them on top. So I'm gonna start off with the pink one. Next I'm gonna take some of the thick tape and I'm gonna cut it into pieces. Now I'm going to tape the pink cone onto the fidget base. Make sure to tape it really securely. On the inside I have 4 pieces of the tape. Now we're going to tape the outside. So I finished taping the pink one, and I'm going to do the same thing with the orange and blue. I just finished taping on all of the cones, and here is our complete fidget toy. You guys, it looks super cute. I love the sparkles. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this. And yeah, now let's pop them. It works just like a poppet fidget toy, and it is really, really cute. I would definitely see myself playing with this fidget toy. It looks super cool. And yeah, I would rate this fidget toy a 10 out of 10. So first, you'll want to grab some kind of like net material. I got this from a pack of lemons. You can get it from a pack of oranges, avocados. And just make sure there aren't any like cuts or big holes in it. And then right here, I have my marble. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a pretty big sized rectangle, just so that it's easier to work with. Now I'm going to place the marble. I'm going to fold the net over it. Fold it so that it's nice and tight. And then I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to cut it like right there. And by the way, just for reference, right here, this is 6 inches. You can make yours shorter or longer. It's totally up to you. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to like trim the edges just to make them nice and straight. This will just make the appearance look better. I'm just going to put like this folder right here so that it's easier to see what I'm doing. Now it's time to secure this together. There's actually a couple of ways to do this. You can either tape it, hot glue it, or sew it. I'm going to be sewing it together because I feel like that's the best method. Here I have a needle and some string. So I'm just going to pop it into the hole right at the top. Just going to take that much. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie the end of this. And once we have the knot, we're just going to start sewing. And here it is, now is sewed together. And then place your marble in. And now for this last step, you can also sew the edges, but for this, I think it's better to tape it or hot glue it. So I'm just gonna tape it. But before I tape it, I'm just gonna like trim them slightly. And now we're gonna tape it. I taped side number 1. And now our fidget toy is complete. It is super fun to play with. It is like exactly like a marble mesh fidget. I'd rate this fidget a 10 out of 10 and highly recommend it. For this next fidget toy, you will need a straw, preferably like a bendy one. Then you will also need some mini rubber bands. These are super small. If you do not have these, you can use rainbow loom and then just like twist them twice and you'll get a small size. So then all you're gonna do is you're gonna take 2 or 1 and you're just gonna put it onto the straw. And then you're gonna put another one. This step is optional, but next what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some pom-poms. I actually made these. If you want a tutorial, let me know in the comments. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna glue them onto the sides of the straw. So right over here I have some Elmer's glue. Just gonna take it. So actually gluing it on isn't working too well. So I recommend using a hot glue gun, but in my case, I'm just gonna staple it on. Just like that. And then we're gonna staple it on the other side. And now you have your actual fidget toy complete. I know right now it doesn't look that interesting, but how this works is you're gonna take the bands and it's actually super fun to just go like this. Since you have the bendy straw, it is also a really nice fidget toy like this. Super satisfying to pull it. And then you have your nice pom-poms on the sides. And then you can also like do this trick if you know how to do it. I think this fidget toy is really unique, and I actually came up with this fidget toy idea completely by myself. And if you have all of the materials, I'd highly recommend making this. So to make the pom-pom fidget, you'll be needing some yarn, Right here I have this hot pink yarn and this light baby pink yarn as well. And then also have a pair of scissors. I want my pom-poms to be multicolored, so that's why I'm using 2 colors of yarn. I have the 2 strands. And then I'm just gonna take 2 fingers and then place the yarn right here. And now I am just gonna start wrapping the yarn around my fingers. Make sure there is space in between. And then you are just gonna keep wrapping it. And then once you feel like you have enough, you are simply gonna cut it. Take one of the yarns and cut a 4 to 5 inch piece of it. And then you are just gonna place it through your fingers, just like that. Once you've placed it through the loop and taken it off your fingers, you are gonna tie a knot. Make sure it is really nice and tight. 1 knot, and I'm gonna at least double knot it. Maybe even triple knot it. Next, into that loop you made, you are gonna start cutting. So you're gonna cut all of the loops. So right now we have this thing. I know it doesn't look like a pom-pom yet. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna trim the edges. And I'm just gonna start giving it a haircut. Once you are done giving your pom-pom a haircut, it should look like this. It looks super cute. And now to make it a little bit more fluffy, more like a pom-pom, you're just gonna put it into your hands and then rub it, just like this. I love how it's multicolored. It is really squishy as well. And you can make a bunch of other cool fidgets with these pom-poms. You can make them smaller, bigger, whatever size you'd like. When you're gonna be making your pom-poms, I'd recommend not to use such thin yarn. And now I'm gonna add my pom-pom to my collection. These are all super cute and I really like them. And if you were to add some nice googly eyes onto them, they would look like creatures. And they're fun to squish. Next, I'll be showing you guys how to make a poppet fidget. So for this, you'll be needing an empty water bottle. What you're gonna do is you're gonna simply cut off this top part. Now I'm just gonna quickly make sure it's nice and dry. And then you are gonna cut off more of the bottle. You will basically only want the top. So I think it's a little too hard to cut it with scissors, so I'm gonna take a box cutter, or you can use an X-Acto knife, but just be very careful. So I cut a hole, and now the rest I'm gonna cut with scissors. Once you've cut it out, it should look like this. Do not throw this part out yet. Now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna cut a little cut right here so that we can flatten it out. Cut a piece of it, and then place it on top. And then take a marker, trace the circle on it. And now cut it out. And then I'm just gonna smudge off the marker. And it is better if your circle is bigger than smaller. Now that you have your plastic circle, what you're gonna do is you're either gonna hot glue it onto here or super glue it on. Tape works, but it doesn't really work that well. So right here I have some super glue, and I'm just gonna put some on. Just like that. And now I'm gonna wait for it to dry. Once it dries, it should look like this. And look. And now to make it a little bit fancier, I'm just gonna take some fancy duct tape, like this, and I'm just gonna tape it on the sides. And now we have a purple poppet fidget. And once your fidget toy is complete, here's how it works. So basically, you're just gonna pop it. I rate this fidget a 10 out of 10. It is super easy to make and it is really fun. Next, we'll be making a little squishy toy. For this, grab a tiny plastic bag. And now you're gonna put in some decorations or glitters into it. Right here I have these super cute confetti glitters. I'm just gonna put some in. And then right here I have this beautiful fine pink glitter. I'm also gonna put some of that in. Uh-oh, I missed. Once you've put in all the add-ins you want, you are gonna take some clear glue and fill it up. Do not overfill it. Put it in like a centimeter below the line. And then just to make it a little bit more fun, I'm gonna pop in a drop of red food coloring to make it pink. And then you are gonna close the bag very tightly. Once you've closed the bag super tightly, now you can have some fun mixing in the red food coloring, or whatever color you added. You guys, this is so satisfying. I'd say it's actually even cooler when the food coloring is separated because it looks super cool. I definitely rate this a 10 out of 10. And this one is probably my favorite out of all of them. For this DIY, all you need is a balloon and some shaving cream. So right here I have this super pretty blue balloon with polka dots on it. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna put in shaving cream into the balloon. So put the nozzle in and you're gonna squeeze it. Now for me, here is where things went downhill. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something about this. So to fix this problem, squeeze very slowly, and then as soon as you feel that the shaving cream is coming up to the top of the balloon, you're gonna stop. So right over here is my balloon squishy. And by the way, I think like 4 of my nails fell off while making this. So make sure you put very little shaving cream, okay? You guys, look at that. This is so cool. This is super fun to play with, especially if you find a really nice fancy balloon. Next, we're going to be making a paper squishy. So all you'll be needing is like a piece of paper. I'm using a red piece of construction paper. What you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half. Now on one of the halves, you're going to draw your kind of design, or what your squishy is going to be. Mine is going to be the YouTube logo. So right over here, I just have like a ruler to measure it out. And now you are going to cut this out. So you're basically cutting it while it's folded in half. And there we go. That looks super nice. Now we're going to be making 2 triangles as like the play button. There we go. I'm going to cut it out. Now I'm going to trace this so that we have like the same exact triangle. So right here I have my 2 triangles for each of the sides. I'm just going to like place it on like so. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little face on it. And perfect, we have our face. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And now we are going to tape this. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna flatten it out like so. We're gonna place the triangles on both sides. And now we are going to place our tape like that. So actually this will make our life a lot easier. We're just gonna take a glue stick real quick and we're gonna glue on the triangles, just so that they're not like moving around. Now we're going to proceed and put on the tape. So now as you see, we covered the outside with the tape. So now on one of the sides, we are going to be cutting off all of the excess. And you can actually save this tape because we're going to use it to tape it all together. Now we're actually going to set this aside. We're going to be making the stuff that goes inside the squishy. So right over here I have some plastic bags. These are like the biodegradable ones, and I got this from Trader Joe's. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut pieces of it like that. Super easy and quick. It is actually kind of like memory foam a little bit, especially the biodegradable one. If you do have memory foam, that is better because it will be more like a squishy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna try to close our squishy, but we're gonna leave space to put our stuff inside. So to do this, I have some excess tape right here on one of the sides. I'm gonna create little like slits, just only on the tape. And now I'm just gonna fold this tape onto it. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put some of the cut up bag in there. And we're just gonna pop it in there. Try to fill it up as much as you can, but don't overfill it. I think that is pretty good for now. We can always add more. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off more of the excess tape. We're also gonna create our little slits. Now we are gonna close it. We're gonna start from this edge. And now we have a pocket right here, and we're gonna keep adding more and more of our filling. So it looks like one of these bags wasn't enough, so I'm gonna take another one and I'm gonna cut it up. We are gonna tape it up. And close it. So I taped up my squishy and here's how it looks. I think it looks super cute and adorable. One side has a face, one side doesn't. I think it's super cute. Also, I did leave a tiny hole in mine so that if you want, you can blow in some air. See, so it kind of inflated a bit. So right over here are all of the DIY fidgets we made today. Comment down below which of these fidget toys was your favorite. My favorite was either the DNA ball or the egg poppet. I have many other DIY fidget toy videos. They will be linked down below. And I also have fidget shopping, fidget trading, and fidget haul videos. So make sure to check them out. So that was pretty much it for this video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And it'd be super duper awesome if you'd subscribe. By the way, check out my slime shop. It will be linked down below as well. I love you all, and I will see you in my next video.